So we're going to go through what we call Get Fresh and Healthy today because of the environment we're in, right? Everybody wants to be pay attention to their immunity system, pay attention to what they're eating, how they're taking care of ourselves, and the protection around us. So we're seeing a big rise in wellness. And it's not like wellness wasn't something that we spoke about before, but like everything else in COVID and this time of this pandemic, we've been catapulted into looking at how we're taking care of ourselves. And we have the time to do it now too, with most of our time being spent inside. So as far as the areas that we'll be touching on today, we're going to focus on, of course, stress and anxiety and what's been going on because of the different things that either we have to do extra. We were just talking about this, Lauren and I were saying, we have to learn how to do video. That was never part of my job description. And as I do a new webinar, I'm on a new panel, I'm always learning about new technology. So we're constantly getting geared up for something new, but that causes a little bit of stress and anxiety along the way. We're also things are being taken away from us. We can't go to places that we used to go to. There are celebrations that we can't have any longer, or we're doing it in a different way. So there's a loss that we're feeling at the same time. So all of this is kind of underlying. Plus, what we're all doing right now, working from home, is really adding a lot of extra to our lives and things being taken away. But at the level that we're looking at is really how do we address that through product engagement and sensations. One of the things that I found very interesting, I'm taking a class right now called Digital Wellness, and it's amazing, the content. If you ever watched The Social Dilemma on Netflix, this is kind of like the back end spin-off of what's really going on in the digital world. And what was interesting, in May 2020, Google searches were up 300% on how to get your brain to focus. So this is just kind of, this is back in May. So as we stay longer in this type of lifestyle, we're just getting more tired. So we're looking at ways through product to really engage with our customer. Obviously, there's a lot of investment at this time from a psychological and emotional piece from corporate companies that want to take care of their clients and in their employees, at the same time, because there's a lot of stress going on, whether you have to figure out how you're going to work from home or how you're going to get to the job, and then what's going to happen once you're there, and rescheduling meetings and such. So that's why we're focusing on wellness today. And we hope to give you some ideas about some concepts that have been put together between GAFSA Technology and Lauren and myself in BeautyEdge.
Yeah, so Cherie mentioned how we're all feeling a lot of stress and anxiety. These were a huge part of people's lives even before the pandemic. And this has led to the rise of the wellness movements across all categories. So according to the Global Wellness Institute, the global wellness economy represents a $4.5 trillion market, with $1 billion of this attributable to beauty. So it's a huge and rapidly growing space. Why are consumers turning to wellness beauty? Well, 42% of them are trying to live a healthier lifestyle. We're all trying to be healthier now. We're very conscious of our health because of the pandemic. And 32% say that wellness beauty products give them peace of mind. So people are feeling nervous, uncertain about the world, about what they're putting in their bodies and on their bodies, and they just want to feel safer. As so many of the trends in the beauty industry come from the food industry, so too has the concept of clean eating or clean beauty come from food. So here you can see a little quote from the International Food Information Council. Consumers reported clean eating as the most popular new diet attempt in 2019. I'm definitely guilty of that since before 2019, trying to eat everything clean all the time. And of course, we also see clean beauty on the rise, which is again linked to these wellness concepts. And then the beauty market is really responding to these new consumer demands. So this is just a quote from a recent article in GCI. We're seeing the emergence of healthy skin claims based around radiance boosting and making the best of the skin we have. This reflects a more holistic approach to appearance and beauty as a whole. Flawless, young skin, it's not the aim anymore. People want to feel confident. They want to embrace the changes that the years bring. So actually, this is a quote from 2018, which just goes to show that this trend was already on the slight upswing 2 years ago. And of course, the shift from aging to health is only accelerating as we're all hyper aware of the health issues during the COVID pandemic.
So in the textures and technologies, the trends that we're going to highlight is overall freshness, and then specific areas that we'll focus on are immunity. So it's protecting the skin, the immunity in the skin, and then also other environmental protection. So Lauren will be speaking to the technologies. I'll be speaking to how it relates to the trend and the textures that we'll be going through. Also, blue light protection. So like all of us, we may have dabbled in Zoom before, but now it's part of our job. We have to know how to use it, and we're meeting clients. So of course, our blue light exposure has increased. I don't even know, I'm sure the percentage is probably 250%, if not more, of what the exposure is to blue light. So it's not just on our screens, it's also on our phones, plus our kids, right? All the kids that had to go through school virtual are exposed now even more than they were before. We're going to speak about energy in some of the technology, because as we are constantly almost on all the time, we're also getting drained. We're getting tired. We're getting Zoom tired. I call it, we're becoming Zoomies instead of zombies. It's like a Zoomy zombie. But anyway, that it comes up on our skin. So our skin can tend to look a little bit more dull, tired. You know, the microcirculation has been reduced. And then on top of that, on the other end, so if we're trying to energize, there's also this, as we spoke about, the calming down. How do we calm down our skin from any extra exposure that we're getting, any aggressiveness, you know, wearing the masks all the time. I know for me, I've been running and my skin is chafing on the outside, like my face area. So I have to go through, I'm doing even more facial masks than I have ever in the past. And I've been in skincare forever, and I would do, oh yeah, I'll do a mask here or there. I'm almost doing a mask every other day. So these are the different trends we'll be touching on as we go through the concepts today.
All right, so let's jump in. So the first concept we have for you is a mango banana smoothie. It might actually be labeled as banana peel in your kit. So this smoothie is a massage cream type of texture to give you kind of a moment of pleasant relaxation and to take care of stressed skin. So again, you're feeling stressed, you're a zoomy. This will help you relax. At the end of the day, it's a nice, just a nice kind of relaxing texture. It has a tropical scent to make you imagine that you're on an island that you cannot go to this year. We all have to travel in our imagination through the use of cosmetics. So taking a quick look at the formulation before Cherie dives into the concepts and the trends. This formula, it contains 2.5% of Ammonium mellifera MB. This is a natural emulsifier that's going to leave a very, very light feel on the skin. So Cherie's going to take us through the sensory properties of the formula in a minute, but you should notice when you apply it that there's a very, very light presence of the product on the skin after application, and that's going to come from this emulsifier. Liposphere ASG, this is a natural butter that melts at body temperature. So here it's helping with the melting sensation and the playtime of this formula. And then this formula is activated with Fresh Cells Mango. So our fresh cells are a really cool concept. We use a very mild and selective extraction process to break down the cell walls between cells without breaking down the cells themselves. So the results are suspensions of intact whole plant cells that degrade on application to the skin. And then they release kind of all the precious content they contain. So they're kind of like a natural microcapsule, if you can imagine it that way. Here on the slide, you can see a microscopic view of the Fresh Cells Mango, where you can clearly see that the whole plant cell is suspended in the formulation. And then once the fresh cells are applied on the skin, they're going to bring, well, this particular Fresh Cell Mango is going to bring brightening and nourishing properties that are substantiated in vitro.
Okay, so this concept is around the trend of immunity. And if you have your sample, you can bring it out and we can go through the texture together. I'm just going to put a little bit on. First of all, I love the fresh fruit technology because there is so much of a big story that you can create around this, but let's do this concept first. So when you apply it, you can feel that fresh break. It's like a water break. It feels very, very watery and smooth on the skin at the same time. And there is, if you smell, a banana scent to it, but what I love about this is that scent goes away in a few seconds. So it's not like you're going to be walking around with banana. I don't know if you're noticing that. I hope you're noticing that on that side. So you apply this. It's a very, very light texture. It's very watery. It breaks nicely, has a lot of slip to it. So by slip, it means the extension of how long that you can really massage it into the skin. So this would be great for, I would say, a body moisturizer, or maybe even a hydrating foot cream, right? So see the long slip that I got on this? And the pickup is very easy. So by pickup, right? The pickup is when you pick it up out of the component. So meaning it's not dense, it's not hard to get out. So I'm just going to put a little bit on this side. And then it leaves the skin very moisturized, nourished. If you have parched skin and very dry skin, it's immediate hydration on the skin. And I just want to go back to the fresh fruit cells. The fresh fruit cells, there's a collection of them. And when I think of this concept, you could do like a smoothie collection of the different cells. There's strawberry, there's the mango, there's carrot, there's pumpkin. So we were talking about fresh fruit and fresh vegetables. There's a whole system that can be put together if you need a concept, say maybe a different smoothie 4 days a week, or every other day you're picking up a different smoothie. Today you're going to do your carrot smoothie, and tomorrow you're going to do your pumpkin smoothie, and mix them up together so you can create a full collection. So as far as immunity, what this will help do is will protect your immunity in your skin. So we never can really say we're going to build up your skin's immunity, because your skin does have an immunity system itself, but you can protect it. You can protect the cells. You can bring hydration, which also protects the skin itself by not letting anything in. Like if you have cracks and crevices in the skin, it kind of would create, I would say, more dryness in the skin. So in helping to repair and build up the skin and immunity and positioning it like that is what we thought of with the mango banana smoothie.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I was answering a chat. So somebody had put a question. This is the great piece about being live. Is like, oh wait, I'm on. So okay, one of the things with GAFSA that I love, and I'm not sure if everybody knows this, is that they do have a separate areas, department, facility, however you want to call it, in France, and they do, I would say, at high level evaluation of the textures that you are developing. And what happens is that, say you're making a formula with GAFSA, and it's not like GAFSA are formula makers, but they do have labs at the offices where if you have a chemist and you want them to go in and use the materials to create a formula for you, your formula can actually be sent off to France, and then it's evaluated by a team of experts. And what happens from this is a spider chart is laid out for you. So if you were to take what we just said about this aesthetic and compare it to what the spider chart is, see how like spreadability is at a high level. So remember we said it had a lot of slip to it. It's very soft. But then when you say like tacky afterfeel, there's no afterfeel, right? Nothing is tacky, but it's soft again on the afterfeel. There's no greasiness. So what this spider chart does, it gives you two things. It gives you an expert evaluation, and it also gives you an affirmation or confirmation that as you're evaluating your aesthetic, am I evaluating this the right way? Is it something that I'm trying to achieve in my formula at the end? So that's what the spider charts are. And each of the concepts will have a spider chart. We'll go through that. And that will be me to speak to, right? No answering chats right now.
Well, now you can. I'm going to go to the next product.
Okay.
Okay, so next up we have our evening skin charger. So this is another really cool concept. The idea here is that when you get home from your day, or when you finish your Zoom work day, you wash off your face, you take off your makeup, there might still be hours left before you do your nighttime skin routine or before you go to bed. And what are you going to do in this time? You're going to get back on your phone. You're going to get on your tablet. You're going to watch TV. You're going to sit back in front of screens. And so even if you had protection against artificial visible light in your day cream, at this moment, your skin now is unprotected. So studies done by BeautyEdge have shown that artificial visible light, screen light, is like an added environmental stress on the skin. It negatively affects the energetic potential of the skin cells, and it can lead to duller, drier looking skin. So this evening skin charger is activated with Energenius. Energenius is a natural active ingredient. It's derived from Indian ginseng, also known as ashwagandha. And ashwagandha is a well-known adaptogen. Adaptogens are a very hot concept at the moment. They are plants that are considered to help the body adapt to stress. So I just mentioned artificial visible light is like an added stress. And the adaptogen in ashwagandha is going to help the skin to deal with that. And in fact, this is what Energenius does. It helps to protect the skin against the harmful effects of screen light by protecting the mitochondrial network and the ATP production, so the energy of the cell, and it protects the cell's cytoskeleton. We've also included in this formula Gasoline Radiance to help fight the dulling effects that artificial visible light can have on the skin. So Gasoline Radiance is a extract of a Chinese plant called Wu Zhu Yu. The active is actually inspired by Chinese traditional medicine. And this ingredient acts on the microcirculation of the skin to enhance the complexion. It's fully substantiated in vitro and in vivo. So great complexion brightening claims there. And then lastly, I'm just going to call out Original Extract Lemon Bio. So our original extracts are water that's extracted from whole fruits. So this isn't like a lemon extract. It's actually lemon water. It's the water that's contained in the lemon itself. We call these living waters because they retain some of the vitamins and minerals from the fruits themselves, and they can deliver those to the skin. So in the case of Original Extract Lemon, we have in vitro data showing that it can bring some nice brightening properties to the skin. So again, it's going to fight that dullness that you're going to get from the effects of the screen light. And then the last thing I want to call out is that upcycling is becoming a really popular way to be more environmentally conscious, make more environmentally conscious ingredients. And Original Extract Lemon is an example of an ingredient that has been upcycled from the food industry. So when concentrated fruit juices are made, they extract and discard the water. And BeautyEdge has partnered with the food industry to turn this discarded water into a unique cosmetic ingredient. So another really cool concept there.
So the concept for this is blue light technology. But as I was listening to Lauren explain all the technologies in this, there's about 4 different stories in this one cream here. So you can go to blue light technology, you can go to upcycling, you can go to adaptogens. That's why I love working with BeautyEdge, because they have a lot of different technologies. And one of the things that I wanted to point out as Lauren was speaking is that when you're creating your concepts, don't get too complicated with what your product is positioned as. So for example, if I were to do this with blue light technology, I really like the fresh waters. We've been talking about this as a fresh presentation, so I might just hang out in upcycling, and it's a nice to have adaptogen, but I just may connect the 2 of them. The fresh water, the blue light, it makes me feel light. It's giving me some supercharger to my skin. So this technology and this aesthetic, I'm gonna put a little bit on this side. When you pick it up, again, it's very light. It's got a very nice break to it. Break meaning how fast it comes from a cream into almost, again, a water emulsion. It's white in color. It's very light. It's like a sheer cream in a sense, even though it comes in a jar and it's poured out in a jar. Has a very nice slip to it. Again, it's not sticky. It's not tacky. So it's soothing to the skin too. When I say bothered skin, It's like skin that's tight, or I don't want to say irritated. It's just like, oh my gosh, you know, my skin, again, if I were to say, if I'm taking my mask on, my skin is like, it's kind of surface dehydrated, but I know that the underneath of my skin is pretty well moisturized. It's just because I've been rubbing against another texture. That's what's going on. And it feels really nice on skin afterwards. So looking at the spider chart, again, going to the spreadability, if you felt this, there was a nice slip to it. It's a nice soft after feel. And again, going to the tacky after feel, there isn't any, right? It's nice and smooth on the skin, and it isn't thick. That's another place that is evaluated with the evaluation team, is they really look at, is there a greasy after feel or not? Now, you could want to make products that are a little bit more dense in texture and feel, but when we were thinking about the concepts, we're saying, okay, let's pick different types of textures, which Gatbase is also well known for in the technologies. It's not just the active technologies, but also textural technologies that maybe, you know, Lauren, you want to speak to a little bit too, and not unless they're in one of the other concepts. So when I say about texture technologies, it's the feel of the product. So you have the actives that work to benefit the skin, but also what is that product feel at the end? What is the sensation that you want to communicate in the concept, and how do you want your customer to feel that product on their skin?
Yeah, and that's actually a perfect transition into the next formula, because this is one where I actually will talk about the feel a little bit more. So this one is called Light Freedom. It got this name because it is free from all the kinds of things that have gotten a bad rap these days. So it's free from fragrance, surfactant, PEG, even colorants. So in this case, the blue color in the serum comes from malachite. And malachite is a liquid stone extract of malachite stone that's rich in copper. So copper has a lot of important functions on the skin, including playing a role in keratin synthesis and increasing the amounts of collagen and elastin produced by the fibroblasts. And so malachite protects the skin from oxidative stress by stimulating the natural antioxidant pool of the cells. And it provides this kind of natural and stable blue color for clean or natural formulations. And you can see, if you have the kit in front of you, it's a really beautiful kind of aqua blue or sea blue color. And then going into a little bit more into the texture. So the reason that this product, we can say that it's surfactant free and PEG free, is because the emulsifier system that it contains is called emul free. And emul free is not a true emulsifier system. It's actually a bi-gel. So what you have is a gelled water phase and a gelled oil phase that come together. They look like an emulsion, they act like an emulsion, but when you apply it on the skin, you're going to get like a breaking of the bi-gel. So the water is going to flash off. It's going to feel very light and very fresh and very kind of, yeah, refreshing, healthy. And then you're going to have like a protective light oil layer left on the skin. So it's a really kind of unique technology that we have, and it's great for these kind of clean formulations.
Okay, so this one we positioned under energy because it helps to protect the skin from environmental aggressors. But also, when you think about it, and I also put the concept to be like a hydrating, energizing eye refresher. The reason why is because we're using our, not that we didn't use our eyes before, but now we're kind of getting drained. We're constantly staring at a screen for the most part, or we're connecting with people on the phone even more. So our eyes get tired and they can get dried out around the eye area. So texture-wise, as Lauren had said, I call this a sky blue in color. It's a very light gel texture, and in your sample, you may have to pump a few times before the product comes out. So if it's not coming out right away, you have to just keep pumping a few times to dispense it. But it's a very, very light fluid. And I position this one as just a refresher during the daytime. It's not a heavy, dense eye cream, but during the daytime, if I want to refresh myself because I've been staring at the screen, or I need to take a mindfulness break, that's my new thing now. So I take like 10-minute breaks and I just breathe for a few minutes. So I just put on my little fluid. It's refreshing on my eye area. But what is happening is I'm giving myself energy, not only around my eye, but just wanted to share this, and this is something that I've learned in digital wellness as well. When we take those 10 minutes during the day to breathe, we're actually helping to bring energy into ourselves, because what we're doing is we're releasing some of the tension. I don't know if you notice that sometimes you can just look at yourself and maybe your shoulders are hunched, or, you know, you're not sitting up straight in your chair if you're at a desk. So this is a great time to introduce to your customer, you know, how to use a product a different way. It's bringing not only the product use into their daily life, but also helping them with their healthy wellness and their digital wellness at the same time. So I'm just patting this in. I'm not really rubbing it because it's nice and light. I also have a concealer on, so it's not moving my makeup around. So I would say the texture of this is very light and smooth, very hydrating, a moisturized feel afterwards. If you want to position this as a eye gel type of serum, I would put it more for younger skin. For me, I would just use it maybe 2 or 3 times a day to feel freshened up around my eye area and to feel a little bit more energized. Again, looking at the spreadability, right? It has a lot of slip to it, but it's not thick at all, right? Because it's fluid. And then there's no greasy afterfeel. That's why I like it too, because I know it's not going to move my whatever makeup I do have on. It's not going to move it around, and not going to bring like my mascara. You know, sometimes if you put an eye cream on during the day, your mascara then touches it, and then it dissolves the mascara, and then you have like black under your eyes, and then nobody tells you until you look in the mirror, right? So, so that's why I really like this as as just a light fluid, as an eye product during the day. You can do anything that you like with this, but that's the concept we came up with. And I wanted to speak about another technology that I like, and we haven't really explored this during this time, but maybe we'll do them, is the malachite. There's a collection from Gaffe, which are the stones, right? The different minerals. So I have used malachite before in a skincare from Gaffe, in a skincare product, because, and this was a while ago, the customer wanted a natural colorant. Now, one of the things that I want to point out, but I don't think is a bad thing, is consistency. So you may not get the same blue, but you'll get blue depending on where and the time, I guess, the supply is available. Do you know what I'm talking about, Lauren? Like, it'll be blue, but I think that's kind of an interesting thing that you could add to your concept, is because it's natural.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if you're doing tomatoes in 2020 and then you do tomatoes in 2021, they're not going to taste the same, but they're still a red tomato. So that's kind of what I'm trying to explain.
Artisanal is in now.
Artisanal, okay. But there's a lot of different minerals. There's, I don't know, what are there, 4 or 5 different ones that
I
have
think
stories?
there's malachite, peridot, zincite, rhodolite, and I'm missing one. There's 5.
Good. She gets an A+ on that one, because I couldn't list them. But and going back again to wellness, people are looking like that could be a great mineral story just on those different ingredients, and you have a full collection.
Yeah, I should say that one of the things that we're really seeing as a trend right now is a move like back to simpler concepts. So people are looking for vitamins and minerals. That's huge. It ties into wellness, it ties into health, and they're looking for, like, yeah, vegetable and mineral concepts. And to us, it's like, oh, it's so old, but this is what customers want, because it feels safe, it feels healthy, it feels comforting. So there's a real movement toward these kinds of concepts right now.
Alrighty. We have a few. I just wanted to let you know, Lauren, I don't know if you realize we're just past 2:30, so we probably just want to kind of wrap this up, because we promised 30 minutes.
All right, the last one, we'll go quick through the last one. So the last one is my favorite one, because it's a CBD spray, and CBD is super trendy right now also. So yeah, so CBD, it's an interesting concept because everyone likes it. They think it's relaxing, they think it's soothing, but you can't actually make any claims on it right now. You can only say, like, contains CBD. So what we did here is we included water-soluble CBD extract, which is the cibidinol 20. But then we included some actives also, so that you can make actually some claims around the product. So we already talked about the technologies behind Fresh Cells, behind original extracts. In this case, the kiwi version of Fresh Cells is rich in antioxidants, while the original extract kiwi has brightening and moisturizing properties. And then since the idea here is to protect and soothe the skin, we've also included, again, Energenius to protect against artificial visible light. And lastly, we've included Gasoline Skin Repair AF. So this is a product that helps the skin resolve inflammation and restore the barrier function for healthier and better moisturized skin. So people think CBD is soothing. You want to include other actives so that you can claim soothing. Gasoline Skin Repair is going to be a perfect ingredient for that.
So this is our calming concept, and this is about the trend of protect and defending against environmental stressors. And you know, daytime, right? You just want to freshen. Simple concept, one of my favorites. This reminds me of, and I'm going to name another brand, Mario Badescu, like the whole collection. But I like this because it, with the different fruit cells, there's, again, the kiwi, the pumpkin, the mango, the strawberry. You can have a different flavor for every day, plus the CBD, plus you have the technology behind it. So it's very refreshing. A lot of it depends on, you know, your dispenser. Of this one's pretty good. This one doesn't spray out too much where I would feel very, you know, wet and drippy. Also has a little sweet taste to it. I don't know if you knew that or not. Just tasted that on my lips. So the color, of course, CBD and kiwi, it's a zen green transparent color. And really, again, it goes back to, I'm during my day, I'm tired or I've been stressed out from like a long Zoom meeting and I want to bring calming. So a quick spray, all of the benefits that the technology brings that Lauren had mentioned. And it doesn't, again, it doesn't mess up your makeup or anything. And it's a nice kind of duo, refreshing, calming to the skin as far as the benefits of the product. And this one is an easy one, so we don't have a spider chart. There's no spider chart on this one, right?
No spider chart.
It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Feels good on skin.
Yeah, refreshing. Done.
Refreshing. Done.
And yeah, so that's it.
Yeah. So that's our presentation for today. And we'd love to hear from you because this is our second time doing this, and I have a good time doing this. And so how we come together is, on my side, is more of what is your brand, what is your identity of your brand, how to create those concepts, and looking at the technologies that GATFA has to bring them into your collection and your brand based on lifestyle and trends. And then GATFA, Lauren?
Yes. So then, yeah, we offer active ingredients. We offer emulsifiers that, yeah, can help bring your concepts to life, the concepts that Cherie comes up with you. And then we also offer a lot of education. And Cherie also pointed out our sensory expertise. So we have an expert sensory panel. We've had it for over 20 years. We're one of the only ingredient suppliers to have our own in-house panel, and we're happy to put that panel to use to help you to create the right textures for your products.
All right, we'll see you guys till next time, and thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.